Now, I know that it says that I'm interviewing Mattitude, but I, for some reason, have no options to change any of the stream info. So I'm not interviewing Mattitude. I'm actually interviewing KROMMAGNUS. If you guys can, please drop a link to Crom's Twitch for me in the chat. How you doing, Crom?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm a little frustrated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little tilted with these stream issues, but it's just OBS is just absolute dog water. You hear that, OBS? Your software is absolute crap. But other than that, I don't know. I had an okay day. I got a new mouse, so I'm excited to try that out later on today.
Nice.
When I play WoW.
Which mouse you get?
It's a Logitech. I don't know, man. They get so complicated with these numbers. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a Logitech 50 something, but it doesn't make sense because I believe it's newer than the mouse that I previously had, which is a 903, and this new one is a 50 something. But it's like what? Like why are you going backwards? Do you know what I mean? Like why aren't you getting higher with the number? Why is the number lower for the newer model?
I guess after 9 they got to reset, and
I mean, I guess
at a G5 or something like that. I think.
Yeah, I'd be cool with like they can get in the thousands. You know what I mean? I'd be cool with that.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Other than that, what's new with you, man? What's been going on?
Not much. Just still going through the slug, trying to grow, trying to try new things. I've been working on my video editing skills lately.
Okay.
Because that's a big part of growing. I need to actually start pumping out more content and stuff. So I've been toying with the various packages, and that's pretty much what's new. Other than that,
what software are you using to video edit with?
I'm currently using Premiere and After Effects. Mostly After Effects. I've been finding After Effects I can do a lot in it.
Yeah.
And Premiere is more or less, okay, let's just do the heavy lifting of cropping stuff. Or at least that's my impression of it. But After Effects has been enabling me to do all kinds of really cool things, especially with some plugins that are available for free, like the Saber one. That one's actually
yeah, the Saber one's really cool to use. After Effects is awesome to do like all the like intricate stuff of editing. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like the UI for After Effects is just, it feels really dated, and like it doesn't feel as clean as Premiere.
Yeah, it is somewhat, it's somewhat dated. It's not quite what like it's not nowhere near. You can tell there's not been so much attention as to like the usability as like with Photoshop, for instance. And it's one of Adobe's products that is like, they have it to say they have it, I think. Yeah. And I've heard lots of things from other streamers and stuff that is like, I shouldn't be using After Effects, but they suggest other packages and stuff, and I just can't get into them. But,
yeah, like I know Resolve. Yeah, Resolve is supposed to be super good. And it's free, but I feel like people kind of shy away from, or they don't like to promote After Effects and stuff because the price. It is really overpriced because you have to pay a subscription to use it and everything. But I mean, like I said, the capabilities that you have with After Effects is crazy. So I've kind of feel like it's worth if you are that serious about editing. But for a basic like YouTube edits, I guess I wouldn't really recommend it. If you have the money, for sure, I recommend it highly. But I mean, if you want to look for other options, but then again, like Sam Woodall, I think is his last name. He edits for Harris Heller. He completely moved away from After Effects, and he is like, he says he's a lot happier. He finds is he using Resolve right now, or is he using?
I can't exactly remember which one he was using, but he was one of the streamers that I was looking to for information, and he said drop After Effects, go with. I think it is DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, there's another one too, and I can't remember the name of the other one.
I think the other one starts with an M or something like that.
Yeah,
that he recommended as well. I wish I had it off the top of my head, but I can't quite remember it right now because I have Resolve and DaVinci Resolve installed. I just haven't been using them too much because they're a different way of looking at editing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, Adobe gives you a nice neat little timeline that you just lay things out, line things up correctly.
Yeah.
And go from
super
there.
Simple. Yeah. It's very beginner friendly.
Yeah, it's very beginner friendly to actually get multiple clips and stuff stitched together. But once you start getting into more advanced effects, it starts to get cumbersome.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
what do
Yeah.
you do, right?
Do you enjoy editing though, or no?
I kind of like it. I mean, the thing is, I've been doing computer graphics since my Commodore 64. So, I
Oof.
mean, that was back in the 80s. I had a Koala pad. That was a drawing pad, basically, for it. And I used to do just pixel graphics back then. And I was
Yeah.
all just determined that eventually I'm going to make a video game. And that's what got me into computers.
Hmm.
That's what got me into everything else. So, and it's what led me to be a game developer for a while and everything else like that, and actually work on some million plus sellers and stuff like that. But I mean,
Oof.
it led me to software development, which is what I'm currently doing for a day job.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to grow my stream so I can do that full time now. It's just so much more fun to sit at home, play video games, and talk to people.
Yeah, for
Simple as
sure.
that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into that
Go
more
ahead.
as well. But yeah, that's crazy that you I don't think a whole lot of people know that you are in game development. Like how did you land that job? Was it difficult to find a job
Ooh.
uh
It
in that
it wasn't as difficult as you would think
Mhm.
because I basically always said ever since I got my first video game console back in the early 80s, I looked at my dad after playing one game and I said, I'm going to make these things when I grow up. That's what I wanted to do. And I figured I'd never ever do it unless I did it myself. But when I was coming up through growing up and stuff, I just started doing graphics, fooling around with programming, toying with it and everything else like that. And eventually, after high school, I went to college, did programming and all. I figured I'd just do business programming. And my very first job, ironically, was making video games for a new control device for the International Space Station
What the
to
heck?
basically try out. Huh? Pretty crazy. I lucked into it in Halifax within 3 days of graduating college, looking at my buddy and saying, let's go to Halifax tomorrow. We basically packed up. We got drunk basically the night before, decided drunk that we were going to move out of the province and move to a different province and look for jobs. And that's what we did. And we ended up landing a job with a company that had a contract with basically NASA to propose a new control device. And they wanted demonstrations of this control device, which was like a 3 foot piece of tape that you just pick up the end of and you move it around in a 3D space, and everything moved around with it.
What the
So
heck?
it was pretty crazy shit.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
yeah, but that only lasted 4 months as a job. So
But that has to look amazing on your resume though. So when you move on to the next
it's pretty
job,
cool.
you're like, yeah, and just no big deal. I did some stuff for NASA. Just
Yeah, yeah. Well, the very next job was teaching at a college of all things, and I was younger than a lot of my students because I
oh
was
wow.
only like 19 or 20 at the time. But
How was that experience?
that was interesting. I got to actually learn a lot from it because a lot of people actually they would teach me things as well, and they had opinions and stuff. And if you listen to people you're teaching, you can learn a lot from them. So and I was just mostly working with students and stuff. I had a company logo that a student stole and put it on his company.
Are you you're
Everything else like this.
joking?
Oh no, I'm definitely not. I
What?
am not joking. And I only found out years later that he had stolen my logo. And then he sold his company to someone else, and the company still uses my logo. It's like,
Oh,
yeah, I should have trademarked it, but what do you
yeah.
do,
But
right?
yeah, you had no idea that was gonna happen.
No, 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 no. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Were there any people
Uh,
in your class where you're just like, holy crap, like this is like the next like Bill Gates, like this dude is gonna wait, was Bill Gates a thing then?
no, no, there was none of
Yeah,
those
there was
in my
no there was no
class at the
yeah,
time.
Bill Gates was
No,
still
that was
becoming Bill Gates at the time.
no, he was Bill Gates at
Oh,
the
was
time.
he? Oh,
He
okay.
was Bill Gates for a long time before that. I mean, this was coming into the end of the 90s,
Oh,
basically.
okay. When
So,
when when was when did like the world find out that like, yo, there's this genius dude who's working with computers? Like when did
but
Bill Gates like become like a main like a household name?
as soon as Windows 95 hit, he became a household name,
Okay.
basically. So that was
Okay.
like 93, 94 or so, whenever around that time,
But in the
people
tech
really started to know
world,
his name.
everyone already knew who he was.
Well,
Like
yeah,
like
yeah. I mean,
who
the thing is just like he was back, he started around the same time as like Jobs and Wozniak did.
yeah.
and he was mostly writing. He was writing software, well, operating system software for IBM,
Hmm.
and they developed the basic programming language. Oh, nice! My camera just
Yeah, I
froze.
think you froze on us.
Yeah, this is one problem with my camera. This is why I'm trying to get better at everything and get a new camera.
Yeah.
It's eventually coming,
Yeah,
but for now,
yeah. For now, it's doing its job. A little hiccup here and there, but you're not a streamer unless you run into technical difficulties, as we do today.
yeah.
But that wait, so who was Bill Gates before Bill Gates? Like who was the guy?
Um,
Was it Stephen Hawking? Like
no, I think the guy before Bill Gates was Bill Gates, and was a big name was probably actually Steve Wozniak, the
really?
Apple guy. Yeah, I mean, he was known
So
through
the
very
Woz
personal
was
things.
was the guy who everybody wanted to
Oh yeah, he's pretty
be.
much the god. He's the god of computers, basically.
Yeah,
That's essentially it. He's the originator of the personal computer. So
man.
that's essentially it. There's a lot of history to it and all that kind of stuff. It's interesting when you actually get into it, how
Yeah,
they all actually crossed over. I mean, like that's like Microsoft actually saved Apple back in the
yeah,
90s,
yeah. A lot of people don't
which is
know
pretty
that.
crazy.
A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know that Apple, like you think Apple today, and they're like this globally dominated company.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
World's
Who like
largest company.
sets the trend for everything. Like anytime it doesn't like there's the people have the arguments all the time of Samsung or Android versus Apple. It's like it doesn't matter because Apple is like it. They set it. They made it to where like that's the go-to phone. Everything else is just like preference wise, right? Like you can argue
Yeah.
up and down all day long which one's better, but you can't deny the fact that like when you think cell phone, you think an iPhone before you think
Oh,
of Android or anything else. Like it is what it is.
yeah.
In movies, all phones they're always iPhones, like because it's so mainstream, right? And it's crazy that like at one time that company almost went under completely.
Yeah, it was pretty much gone under at the point when Steve Jobs came back to it. I think that's the way the history went. And
Yeah, I've seen a
he
lot of the
basically
like
met
all the
with
Jobs
Bill.
movies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, man. It's like it's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, it's nuts,
And
man.
it's just nuts the way it all flowed. I mean, that's like a lot of people give Microsoft a hard time about being like, okay, they had that antitrust case, they had various
Yeah.
other things where they're trying to basically plow everybody else out of the market. But you look at them and it's like what they actually do
Mm-hmm.
is actually make sure that they do have competition
Yeah.
because it keeps them on their toes. And that's one of the things that Gates always did, is he
Yeah.
made sure he always had competition because it basically kept him going.
Yeah.
And when he left Microsoft for a while and retired, I mean, they went downhill fast.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. But if you look at like, okay, the Xbox platform, they're pushing for cross play on everything,
Yeah.
and they've been doing that for years. I
I
mean,
feel like
when I
it's
was
kind of
working in
hurting
Gamescom,
them though at the same time because it's like, well, why am I going to buy a console? I could just buy a PC and I can play all your console games.
well,
Like there's nothing
that's the thing.
exclusive. Like if you're a PC owner, like what's your incentive to even buy an Xbox? Because there's nothing
Well,
exclusive to the Xbox.
there are some things that are still exclusive to it, but I mean, for the most part, what's the difference? It's like they don't really care too much if you have an Xbox or not. They care whether or not you're actually basically taking part in the gaming experience, and they're trying to actually they don't actually make most of their money on the sale of the consoles and sale of the games. They make most of their money on the sale of the service,
Oh, okay.
and that's where they're doing it. It's like if you look at like, okay, like the Xbox Live platform, it's always been definitely better
Mm-hmm.
than what PlayStation has as a network.
Yeah.
It's one of the largest cloud platforms on the planet, if not the largest cloud platform on the planet. I mean, back in the early 2000s, they were adding over 300 servers to it a day. It was
Jeez.
friggin' nuts, like for a while when the 360 first hit. And
Yeah.
that was really where it all seemed to start. And
Uh-oh.
every so often, yep, there goes that. It'll be back in a second.
Okay.
See?
There we
It
go.
either does that or it freezes
Okay.
once every so often.
I thought that was
Like,
on
you
my
need
end.
a
I was
new
like,
case.
oh no.
No. Oh, God,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Just ignore that. It happens in my stream all the
All
time.
right. All right.
And I usually make a joke out of it and go, oh,
Yeah.
there goes the camera. Friggin' dart. Anyways, I'm going to throw it. When I buy a new one, I'm throwing it. And
Yeah.
I'm probably going to
YouTube
TikTok.
video. That's a YouTube video
It's
or
a
a
YouTube
TikTok.
video
Yeah.
right off the bat. Me just
Yeah.
throwing out my old camera. type thing,
Destroying
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, It's an old Canon T3. I mean,
Oh
what do you do,
man.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but yeah, no, man, it's like, I mean, the stories you hear, like when you're working in the game industry of what's actually going on, that never, ever, ever makes it to a gaming news page.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are amazing. It's
Yeah.
just the little tidbits, like how Sony has been trying to sell the PlayStation brand for basically 20 years now.
Have they really?
Oh yeah.
Who are they trying
See,
to sell? What are they gonna? Who are they
Sony's an
trying to sell it
insurance
to?
company. They well, back in the PlayStation 3 days, we were when PlayStation 3 was first coming out, they didn't really know if it was going to be the Sony PlayStation 3 or the Disney PlayStation 3. They almost
What?
had the deal worked out. Disney was almost ready to buy it because that's the whole reason that a PlayStation has a Blu-ray drive is because of Disney. And Disney
Really?
was working with Sony on the next format, and they ended up going with Sony convinced Disney to join on to the Blu-ray farm rather than the HD DVD farm, which was basically the first nail in the coffin of the HD DVD.
Well, okay. So I've always been told that the way that those work, right? Whenever like two different styles of like media come out, the one that wins is always the one that the porn industry goes with. Whatever the porn industry goes with, that's the one that wins every single time. That everyone is going to just be like, look, that's what we're going with. They're doing that. We're going on.
You also have to understand that industry goes with the one that Disney goes with.
Okay.
That's the real core right there, because Disney is the king of VHS sales. Disney is the king of DVD sales. Disney is the king of Blu-ray sales. And now they're trying to get into the whole streaming market with the Disney Plus and everything, and they're doing a pretty good job.
They're killing it. They are killing it. Dude, The Mandalorian alone is like enough to own Disney Plus. Like
that's the only reason I've been paying.
That's what I'm saying.
The only reason I've been paying for Disney Plus for over a year now is for The Mandalorian, and I'm thinking I'm just going to cancel till it starts again.
Yeah, honestly, but I mean, I don't know, because some of the Marvel stuff they're coming out with looks pretty promising. I'm not really too big on the WandaVision thing, but I mean, everything else
looks like it's going to be funny.
I just don't even get what are they going for? Like, what are they going? I don't understand. Is it supposed to be funny?
Yeah. I think it's more or less supposed to be kind of like a little bit of a wacky take on what if we take two superheroes in the Marvel universe and they craft worlds around themselves that happen to be classic sitcoms.
Yeah.
There's even talk because, well, Elizabeth Olsen is Wanda or whatever. Or whatever her name is. Is it Elizabeth Olsen? I think it is.
Yeah,
but
one of
there's
the
even
Olsens.
talk of actually them doing a sitcom that's kind of like Full House and trying to get the Olsen twins to come into it at some point as a guest shot.
But as Scarlet Witch though, like they want to do like a Full House style with Marvel characters?
Essentially. For WandaVision. I was reading some rumors on it and all that kind of stuff and talk from various other things, and it's like, oh yeah, that would actually be kind of neat, because they're kind of doing it with like Leave It to Beaver and a few old classic American sitcoms and stuff. They're kind of doing those styles and stuff and all that and setting them up. It's interesting what they're doing. But
being from Canada, did you guys get into the like the old school like American sitcoms like we're talking about, or were there like Canadian ones that like we don't know about? Man.
Growing up, Canadian sitcoms were shit. They look like they're filmed on home video cameras and stuff. I mean, we didn't have the technology or the quality or the production, because if you're either good in the movie industry or the TV industry, you moved to the States and got a job there. That was pretty much it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no, there was a few good ones. I mean, we had like, back in the 80s and stuff, a lot of kids watch Degrassi.
Yeah, bro, I was gonna say Degrassi's like Degrassi low key blew up out of nowhere. And what's funny is like, so I watched Degrassi like on Nickelodeon, and then I didn't know that there was an old school Degrassi, like where all the parents that are in Degrassi were the kids in the original Degrassi. And then I was like, oh, that's nuts. And then I remember an episode where Drake did like a rap in the episode, and I was like,
Drake was actually a star in Degrassi. He played a handicapped kid for a while or something.
So he was named Jimmy. He was Jimmy. Yeah. So I remember the character, and I remember in one of the episodes he was doing a rap, and I was like, Bro, that dude, that sounds like a real rap. Like that doesn't sound like corny like sitcom rap. Like that sounds like that could be like a real song. And then like not too long after that, like they did that whole scheme like where they had him and his girlfriend like they produced music together, whatever, and he rapped a lot. And then not too long after that is when like he started to take off like here in the States where he you know, Lil Wayne, he got in touch with Lil Wayne or something. And Lil Wayne was like, "Yo, here, let's just make some mixtapes for you." But it was crazy. I felt like I watched it happen. Like I was like, I went from, that guy's pretty good, and then it's to, holy shit, that's the biggest rapper like in the world, like right now. It's crazy.
Definitely one of the biggest. I mean, a lot of the biggest stars do come out of Canada. So
hey, you're not wrong.
Hey.
You're not wrong. Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
national treasure. Who's the best Canadian to come out of the Great White North?
I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying Ryan Reynolds too, right? He's pretty funny.
Man, that's
even his Twitter feed is hilarious. So
man,
the arguments between him and his wife are great. Like just the jabbings they do to each other. I mean, they're back and forth. They're trolling each other all the time.
I love his relationship with everybody. Honestly, his interactions with every person in his life is so hilarious.
Yeah,
but man, that's a good one. I don't know if I could think of a better person to come out of Canada. Ryan Reynolds, man. There's Krom. There is Krom. Krom is in the running. Don't count him out just yet. Don't count him out just yet. But
I gotta get buff and everything else and get in shape and all that and make myself look young again. But that's besides the point.
Were you pretty jacked back in the day? Was college Krom? Was he pretty stacked?
No, college Krom is where I gained a freshman 45.
What?
I weighed 145 pounds, couldn't gain weight for the life of me. Went to college, and in the first 3 months before Christmas, I gained 45 pounds.
Was it all in the wrong places?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's just wow. I started. I just basically spent almost every evening hanging out with friends and eating donairs. And donairs.
What's a donair? What the hell's a donair?
It's kind of like what you guys call like a gyro or a hero. Or a euro or whatever it is. But the meat is different and it has a special donair sauce. It's a Nova Scotian invention. Came out of King of Donair down in Halifax on the corner of a street that's called Pizza Corner because it has some of the best pizza places to hit up right after the bars and stuff in Halifax. But that's besides the point. That's a whole other discussion. But it was an invention and they came up with it. And it is honestly amazing to eat. When you smell it and stuff, it's like, this does not smell like I'm going to like it. And then when you eat it, it's like, okay, first bite's like, this is a little bit, okay, it's got a bit of spice to it. Then second bite, and it's like, okay, this is crack. I'm going to be eating this for the rest of my life, and I'm going to die because of it. And yeah, I mean, it's honestly great. If you ever are in anywhere and you see a donair on the menu, try it. Some places get it horribly wrong because some places will put lettuce on it. It's like lettuce doesn't belong in a donair.
No.
Neither does cheese.
Neither does cheese. It's very rare it's very rare you find food that cheese does not belong on.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm a lover of cheese. I mean, look at the chin. I got an extra one right here. That's all cheese. But
how could it not though? How could it not go with it if it's meat, right?
It's surprisingly, I think it's just a combination of spices and stuff. It just doesn't taste right.
What kind of meat is it? Is this moose? Are we talking about eating moose?
No. Moose meat's a whole other thing.
Have you eaten moose?
Cook that all the time. Oh yeah,
all the time.
Have that on regular. Yeah, my family has a hunting lodge in Newfoundland, and they hunt moose and stuff there. And every time they come to visit, they bring me supplies of moose steaks and moose roasts and ground moose beef and
I really feel
hamburger beef.
I really feel like they need to do a better job in public schools of teaching how freaking huge a moose actually is. Like you think they're maybe like a horse. No, these fuckers are like a house. They're enormous. It's like a bus. They're enormous animals. But you don't know. They don't look like it. You get like little plastic animals. You know what I mean? Like you buy like little plastic animals, and then you get a moose, and it's like it's relative to the rest of the animals. No, that thing should be double the size of a tiger, like triple the size of a tiger. That thing's enormous.
Oh yeah, no, those things they'll stand like 8 feet at the shoulders type thing and whatnot, and
then the antlers are like you could sit in the antler, like you could use it like a hammock, and just
Oh yeah,
chill.
I know. I know. Well, you can't use it like a hammock. They're not quite that big, but
They're huge,
yeah.
man. I saw a
Trust me,
video.
I know. I've seen really big ones. I've seen some really huge ones that my brother has had taken at his lodge, and they are huge, but they're
Yeah.
not quite that big, man.
Well, how you look like a
But
big dude. How tall are you, Crom? You
I'm
6'5",
only
6'4"?
no man. I'm like 5'11".
You're lying to me, Crom.
No, that's all I am.
Oh
I'm
man.
short and fat basically at this point. So, I mean, I still playing hockey to try to stay in shape and stuff.
Oh well, of
but
course you do. You're
that only
Canadian.
does so much.
So you
Well,
don't.
yeah,
You don't even have a
gotta play
choice.
hockey.
You don't have a
Yeah.
choice, Crom.
I'd be a letdown if I didn't play hockey. So
You know what's surprising? That
I won't say I
thought
do it any good though.
You're just out there. Just out there skating around.
I'm a pylon.
Nice. What
People skate
position?
around me.
What position do you play?
Usually left wing.
Left wing. Okay.
Yeah.
I used to know these positions because I was really big into hockey growing up. Like when when Mighty Ducks was a thing, I was like, oh, hockey's the shit. Hockey's amazing. And I would play, you know, all the Gretzky games on like on the Super Nintendo and all that kind of stuff. So like I used to know that, but then I just stopped. I don't know, just stopped watching, and then I just forgot everything about the sport.
Oh yeah. That's the way it goes. When you have time and you're a kid and you can actually do whatever the heck you want, you get into these things.
Yeah.
And then once you get older, you get a career and everything else, and you start working or whatever. Things kind of fall by the wayside to a certain extent. Fortunately, gaming's not quite like that because people get hooked to it and they just stick with it. So, yeah, well, it's all good.
Yeah. Don't forget, you guys, if you have any questions for KROMMAGNUS, make sure to hop in the Discord, go to the waiting room, and you can ask him yourself. You know, just anything but, you know, controversial things. Like we're not going to be talking about religion or politics or anything like that. All right. This is an informational podcast for you guys get to know Crom here as a person. But back to this Canada thing, right? You know what? I'm really surprised that I do not like that. I thought I would absolutely love poutine.
What's that?
I do not like it in the slightest.
Oh, you just haven't had a good one. That's all it is.
No, I don't. I think it's because it doesn't taste
friggin' amazing.
But it doesn't taste what I like when I think of it's because the gravy's different. It's not like normal gravy, right?
Oh, if you're not having normal gravy, if you're having what they call poutine sauce, you're not having a proper poutine. You're having garbage.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Maybe I just haven't had a good, because I tried it once and I was like, this doesn't taste what I think it's supposed to taste like. Like I thought I was gonna taste like French fries with cheese and like gravy, but like gravy, like Thanksgiving style gravy, but it's not.
Oh no, we always make them with Thanksgiving style gravy, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
See, maybe I just need to go up to Canada.
It's supposed to be like basically, you need to get it right. That's the thing. A lot of places get it wrong. There's a lot of restaurants up here get it completely wrong. But there's a similar thing from back home in Newfoundland that we call a mess, which is similar to a poutine, except it's basically fries with like turkey dressing on top of it, bit of other things like onions and stuff and all that, and some gravy, and often things like hot dogs cut up and deep fried and just throw it on there as well. And when you eat it, it's like, holy crap, this is so heavy. It's so good. And I just love it. And it's delicious. There's different variations on the poutine and all that kind of stuff up here.
Yeah, maybe I got to give it another try then. Maybe I got to give it another try.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I just noticed an inside joke in the chat. First Woe Dude said, am I late? We keep doing that to each other in each other's streams all the time. I pop into his stream because usually I am late getting into his stream. And I always say, am I late? So he pops into mine and says the same thing back.
Even if he's the first one?
Even if he's the first one. Oh, yeah. If he was the first one there, it's like, am I late? And it's like, yeah. So I just saw that in the chat and got a good chuckle out of it.
Yeah. So. And okay, so one of the things I want to talk about, I'm obsessed, like I'm absolutely obsessed with like small things that happen in your life that make like such a dramatic like change, that have such huge impacts, things that like you normally don't think about, right? Like my wife, so I met my wife at Hooters, right? But it's so funny because she almost didn't work there because she was dating a guy at the time, and her friend was like, hey, if you're looking for a job, you should come work at Hooters. I make a ton of money. It's super easy, you know what I mean? Like it's not as creepy as like people think it is. And she's like, I don't know. And so she's like, I don't know, like I don't think my boyfriend would like that, you know what I mean? And then she's like, I'm telling you, like, you won't regret it. Like it's not like what you think it is. And she's like, all right, you know what? Um, give me an application, I'll fill it out and I'll go apply. And then so she got the application, she filled it out, and then she told her boyfriend, she's like, hey, I'm going for an interview today at Hooters. Do you like can you give me a ride? And he's like, and she said that he begged her, please do not take this job. Like, I do not want you to work there.
Yeah.
Please don't do this. And she's like, she said she thought about it. She felt bad. She's like, man, like if this is really going to destroy our relationship. And then so she said she was like this close to not taking the job. And then she's like, fuck it. And she just went anyways, because she was kind of like, I don't know, she was kind of a dick to him for just hearing all their stories. But anyway, so it's just crazy that like she almost didn't get the job there. Do you know what I mean? And I never would have met her. I never would be sitting here married with my kids with her. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's all because she made the decision to work somewhere when she was told not to. It's not like it was just like this thing that seamlessly happened. Like there was a distinctive moment in her life where my life would be dramatically different if she made one decision different. And I'm bringing that up because I found Crom simply by I was like, you know what? I haven't touched Reddit. I still don't use Reddit. And I'm like, I really need to learn how to use Reddit. So I hopped on a Reddit and I was just browsing like random threads, or I don't even know what they're called, threads, I guess. And I saw a post by someone who's like, hey, I just hit affiliate. He's like, I'm super stoked. Like, I forgot what it was, but you were just basically talking about how you just hit affiliate and that like you were really excited about it. And that
actually, I think I was wondering what was going on with the Twitch numbers. Yeah, because I figured Twitch couldn't count to potato because I would have 3 people chatting in my stream, but Twitch would say I have 1 viewer. And it's like, what the hell, Twitch? Like, learn to count. But I saw, and I posted something about that, and you posted something.
Yeah, you posted something about getting affiliate because you're really excited. You're excited about a sub, about something. I don't know if you got your first subscriber or something, or you were hoping to get a subscriber soon or something like that. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go stop by this dude's stream and I'm gonna hit him with the sub. And then I remember the Twitch that you had linked to your Reddit wasn't like your current Twitch or something. It was something weird. It was really hard to get to your page. And because I remember I had to message you again. I was like, hey, I tried to find you and I couldn't find you. Oh, you know what? I think it was your Reddit name. Did it match your Twitch name? I don't think it was KROMMAGNUS. I think it was something else.
Reddit name's always been KROMMAGNUS. I've been using that name since the early 90s.
I got to go back and check the Reddit messages then, because I'm telling you, I had to message you back to be like, hey, I looked, I couldn't find you. And you're like, oh, actually, this is my Twitch. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I dropped you a follow, and then I waited until you sub. But it was just crazy that like I never go on Reddit ever. I finally did. And I see this dude Crom, and now here I am, chatting it up with my boy. And you've been an amazing like supporter of literally everybody that you meet. Like it's just it blows me away. And I don't know if it's the Canadian in you or if you are just genuinely that good of a dude, but it's inspiring, man. It honestly is.
There are a lot of people I don't really support. I generally support people who I see are actually doing things in a positive way.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they're reflecting values that I have, well, I'll support them. I'll hype them up.
Yeah.
And I ended up actually being part of a group that actually helps people hit their affiliate and helps people start to grow their streams and stuff and all that. And well, the thing is, as for the whole story of how I came to meet you, I actually do remember quite well because I was posting something. You had given me some advice about not watching the numbers so much and don't pay attention to that number because it's not always accurate and all this kind of stuff. And I said, okay, great, I'll try that. And I took your advice to heart and basically have been saying roughly the same thing to other people ever since. And it's true. I mean, the thing is, it's like, don't pay attention to that number in the moment.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
What means shit is when you actually start to grow a bit of a community and people are coming back and saying hi, or you're interacting on Twitter and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I just try to surround myself with people that are more upbeat and not down on themselves and not down on everybody else, or not the negative streamers who got to start controversy to get views and all that kind of crap, right?
Uh-huh.
So, but that's pretty much that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just one of those little things. Is like, okay, yeah, this guy on Reddit told me to go do this, so I figured I'd try it, and I dropped by your stream a few times and liked what I seen, and just kept coming back, right? So
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like it was just the fact that like you're genuine about your support, and you don't see that a lot, especially on Twitch, like where
definitely not.
you know what I mean. People support, but like not like is not. I don't. I It's like a weird way that they do it. Like it's almost just it's like the follow for follow thing, right? But like
That doesn't work.
but nobody's even trying to like make like real connections with each other. Like people are like, oh, thank you for following me, I'm gonna follow you back, and then they stop by your stream like, hey, just want to say hey, and then they leave, and it's like,
yeah,
I mean that's not like I appreciate the gesture, right? But it's like I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Like the way you're doing it, like you yeah, it is.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. That just I just don't feel right by dropping by people's streams and then just saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm dropping an alert, and I'm out of here."
Yeah.
It's like usually I'll come in, say hi, have a bit of a chat, hang around a bit, and if something comes up that I got to go, well, okay, I got to go.
Yeah.
But usually I'll check back in and stuff and all that kind of crap, anyways. But I just find people that do that as well
Yeah.
are just a whole lot more genuine, and you get a lot more mutual benefit out of it. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of people, I mean, for every one person I've met streaming and through streaming that is actually a genuine person, there's literally hundreds that I've met that basically followed me just to get a follow back or to try to get me to retweet them
Yeah.
and everything else like that to help blow them up, and then just ditched me. And that's essentially it. And I have no idea who has ditched me. I just know I follow a lot of people on Twitter and never hear anything from them. And there's certain key people that you keep seeing over and over and over again. And they're the hustlers. They're the ones that are putting in the time and actually working on their stream and working to build their networks and working to build their communities. And that's the biggest part about it, is actually building essentially a network of people that you can rely on, and they can rely on you. And if they can't rely on you, you're not going to go nowhere. Simple as that. So you're going to probably end up being okay. You're popular because you're really good at a game, but
yeah.
Or you're popular because you show a lot of cleavage, because there's a lot of those. But that's besides the point, right?
Yeah.
They deal with other shit too.
Yeah.
For sure. Because they get the worst of the worst of the scum in their streams, and I feel bad for them.
Honestly.
It's like, oh, geez, it's sickening. But I mean, why can't people just be people and be nice to each other?
You know what I mean? It's really wild. Like you don't have to like, you know, those kinds of streamers, but you don't have to go out of your way to like be nasty to them. Do you know what I mean? Like leave them if you don't like what they're streaming, just don't go to their channel.
That's exactly it.
Just leave them. There's no need to go out of your way to go and like try to like leave a comment or try to like bring their day down. Just like ignore them. You know what I mean? Like it's really it's I don't know. It's so nutty. It's so nutty the way people
totally
are.
Right in that, right? I mean, the thing is like, I mean, why waste the energy to bring someone else down and start something like that when, okay, you can just instead direct your energy to people that you actually do support, or whatnot, right? It just makes so much more sense.
Exactly.
Now, not to say it isn't fun to actually fight with the trolls once in a while and just
for sure.
I do that every now and then on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the ways I'll start.
You can get lost in there.
Yeah. I get lost. Last one I got lost on, I went into a Valorant thing about an update and said, okay, are you nerfing the freaking sniper rifles yet?
Yeah.
And that started off this guy calling me down to the dirt, threatening my family and everything else. And it's like, holy crap, he said, you have no idea what you're talking about. You probably never played CSGO and all these other types of shooters and all that. It's like, boy, you have no idea who you're talking to. You have no idea how many games I've played, how much I've actually been involved in gaming.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. And it's like I just talk to them or whatever, and they end up going in circles and proving themselves wrong half the time, and then you just sit there and laugh.
Yeah.
And it's fun once in a while to basically feed a troll just for the point of making them
Yeah.
kind of see it differently. But it's not something I do often. It's just sometimes it irks me and I just got to do something. I mean,
Yeah. I
as
get
for
it.
Valorant, yes, the freaking sniper rifles need to be nerfed for
Yeah.
2 modes in there specifically. And that's pretty much it. In deathmatch and what you call it, spike rush.
Uh,
But you can't get shields in there. So
oh,
one
really?
hit, yeah, one hit in deathmatch, you're dead. Even if they shoot you in the foot.
Any rifle or specifically the op?
Any sniper. The op does 127 damage on any body part that it hits.
Yeah,
So
I
if
think
your
that's so
finger's sticking out and
silly.
it shoot you, you're dead.
Yeah.
It sucks. And it's one of the things that Riot probably needs to change at some point. But
I've
yeah,
said
well,
that from the beginning. I just think it's so silly to have a gun that can one shot no matter what. Like as long as you get a hit marker,
yeah,
it just seems
yeah,
dumb. Like take 75% of the health, take 90%, but don't just
yeah.
straight one tap. Like that's so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Golden Gun, yes,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's a
Yeah.
throwback to GoldenEye, and they do have the Golden Gun in Valorant. But the biggest problem with it is like, okay, well, Golden Gun is fine. Like it's even in my intro, in the background of my intro, you see me using the Golden Gun,
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, that's a one thing you can pick up and go to town. Basically, it's a power up,
Yeah.
and that's it. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense to be in there, but to have one weapon that if you just shoot a person without even so much as aiming and it hits them anywhere, they instantly die, it just breaks the game.
Yeah.
And now in the standard matches, sure, you get shields and everything else like that, and you can survive a hit to anywhere besides the head.
Mhm.
That's fine. But
Can you? I thought the
balances.
op still like one taps even with like full
No,
shield.
if it shoots you in the arm, it'll do 127 damage. That's the lowest it will do.
Oh.
If it hits torso or head, you're instantly dead.
Oh, see, that's why I feel like
Yeah.
I just always get hit in the torso then. Like I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever gotten hit anywhere but the torso and the head.
Yeah, no, I took the time to actually read up on the op and a few other things because when I was actually interacting with this troll,
Yeah.
and I was just linking stuff to him, and it's like, but dude, this is what it's set to. This is what
Yeah.
happens, and he's just going on blah blah blah. You don't know, you don't know, you don't know games, blah blah blah. You're
Yeah.
probably just playing your first game, and it's like, I don't think so, buddy. So,
Yeah. I feel that I've always felt that strongly, but then
yeah,
I never see anyone else complain about it. I'm like maybe it's just me then. Maybe like everyone else is cool
no.
with it and I'm the only one who has a problem. So it's refreshing to hear someone else
Well,
talk about it.
every time someone speaks up about it, they get knocked back down. The thing
Yeah.
is, I'm just too stupid to get knocked back down. So it's like, wait, you're going to come at me, I'm going to come back at you. And I end up arguing sometimes just from the devil's advocate point, even though I agree completely with the person. It's
Yeah.
just they piss me off.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So,
You know, I'm just, I got time today. I got time today.
yeah,
So let's
like,
get, we're
I
going to
got a
have
bit of
fun.
time. Listen, you want to roll, buddy? Let's roll, basically, right?
Yeah.
But it's all good fun.
Man. But being in the game industry for this long is it like mind blowing to see like how far video games have come? Like,
Well,
cause I mean,
actually, I
I
left
played a
the
long
video game
time.
industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I left it just before the launch. Well, right, actually, it was just before the launch of the Xbox One.
Oh, but you still gamed though, didn't you? Or no?
Oh yeah, I gamed big time,
Oh, okay.
and that's when I left making games.
Got you.
That's the thing. It's like that's fall. It was we were working on NCAA 15 football,
Whew.
and EA got in an argument with
Yeah, I was gonna say that
NCAA and dropped them.
yeah.
And I was off on a Friday. My sister and brother-in-law were in town visiting, and I had seen the news in the afternoon just by accident, and I said, "Hey, I'll go in on Monday and I'll be laid off," just as a joke.
Yeah,
I went in
not
on Monday
knowing,
and I got
yeah.
laid off.
Yeah, that's wild. That was crazy. I mean, so
Yeah.
how do you feel about that whole situation? Because I mean, I get it, but it just seems so weird that they couldn't come to a solution. Like it seemed like a very easy way to deal with the whole situation.
The big problem with NCAA itself, I mean, I've worked
Yeah.
on multiple NCAA titles, and the problem with NCAA is the NCAA is their own worst enemy when it comes to sports and stuff like that. There goes my camera again. Freaking piece of shit. I am so doing a TikTok of this thing getting a baseball bat or something when I get a good camera. Simple as that. But yeah, no, they're their own worst enemy. I mean, they decided, okay, well, we have something of more value than anything else because we have all the rights to all the players because they're all
Yeah.
college players, and college players can't make their own money, which really stupid, and it
Yeah.
frustrates me to know they should be getting paid.
Yeah.
Simple as that. They're professional sports players. The NCAA makes a shit ton of money off of them,
Yeah.
and they're not actually helping them in any way. It's not right. It's not right at all. And that's part of the reason. It was their ego, basically. I think caused a lot of the rift between EA and them, and they ended up splitting. But that was very interesting. I was actually working on the Ultimate Team feature on NCAA 15 at that point, but that was see you later, done, okay, fine. And I got more into web development afterwards. So, yeah, well, what do you do, right? It's easier life.
What,
I mean,
is there any game that you've seen that you're like, man, I would have loved to have worked on that game? Like, what is the game that came out that you're like, I just wish I could have been part of that team?
Oh, there's lots of those games. So,
but really?
One that actually came by our studio,
yeah,
and was offered to our studio, and we all took a vote on it whether or not to go for this game or go for a sports title because that's in our wheelhouse.
Yeah,
was Batman, the
Arkham series.
Ah!
Oh my god, man.
They came to us with it and said, oh yeah, we would like for you guys to actually develop it. It's between you and another studio. And we're like, okay, well, our CEO got us into the theater because there's a big 42-foot screen that we used to play games on every once in a while.
Yeah.
And that's where we had our company meetings and stuff. And he said, okay, well, we've been offered a Batman game, or we can go on with another EA contract or whatnot and do a sports game. And he said, we're going to leave it up to the studio and we're going to vote and everybody's going to decide because it's a great opportunity either way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people chose the safe route. And well, the game came out, and when it came out, it was like, holy crap, this is the biggest game of the year at the time. The very first Batman Arkham game. And it was like, wow, yeah.
It was a great game. Been able to
pull that off. It was honestly a great game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge at the time, but that's one that I wish I could have worked on. But I mean, I worked on a bunch of other things, even some unreleased games that were pretty cool. Like we worked on a essentially GTA clone for a while.
Oh, really?
That was a Park Boys franchise. So I had Bubbles in riding his go-kart around, stealing shopping carts and stuff, and return them to the trailer park and all that kind of stuff. I was doing engine work on that one for a while. It was actually quite interesting. But funding fell through on that one. But that's it, right? You roll with the punches. You keep going. But no. Well, I mean, after 13 titles under my name and stuff like that, I mean, it was good fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was a time in my life I really enjoyed, and or at least I thought I did. But when they laid me off for some reason, I just started grinning. I felt relieved.
Yeah.
I did not realize how much I honestly, deep down, hated that job because the game industry at the time, I mean, I was working through the whole EA wives thing that happened where basically wives were basically complaining to EA because they never get to see their husbands and stuff and all that kind of stuff. And we were just a third party studio that EA was contracting. But what do you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was one night I was working on a FIFA game, and I got home at 5:45 in the morning, went to bed. The alarm went off at 6. I got up and went back to work again.
Jeez.
And that's roughly the types of nights we had to do on it every so often. And it's just ridiculous. It broke so many labor laws for our province, but, well, nobody wanted to piss off EA, so
yeah, they're just like, hey, yeah.
And we were told, oh, yeah, we're making great money. And, well, you should be honored to be working in the game industry. And it's like, yeah. So, no, much happier ever since leaving. But it was definitely, I look back on it with a lot of fondness in the experiences because I still play with the hockey team that actually is from that company.
Oh, really?
So I still talk to the guys all the time and everything else, like the guys that worked on PGA and all that for this year. They developed that. That actually grew out of the game called the Golf Club, which got its name from me. I can take credit for that one. So
nice.
Yeah, that was like a week or two before I got laid off. They sent out an email saying, "We're making a golf game. What should we name it?" And as soon as the email showed up in my inbox, I just replied, "The Golf Club," and hit send. And then I sent a bunch of things like Super Happy Fun Time Club 3000
Yeah.
and all this kind of crap and all kinds of garbage and everything else. And they ended up going with the Golf Club. So, and I didn't even get a free copy. So,
Oh.
but well, such is life, right?
Yeah. Well, being a
So,
a dad now, man, how do your kids feel about the fact that you used to make video games? Are they gamers themselves?
oh, my kids are big time gamers.
Yeah. Are
I
they?
mean, we
Do they
play
think it's
games
the
together
greatest
all
thing
the time.
ever that you used to make video games?
It's more or less like, man, whatever.
Oh,
So,
really?
but that's kids. Kids are so nonchalant about everything. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you do what? Nah, I guess it's cool.
Yeah.
That's like it.
Unless like you
So,
made a game that like they are currently playing, I'm sure they're just like,
yeah, that would probably be a little bit different. But
yeah.
that's like a couple weeks ago, I was asked to apply to work with a company out of Vancouver who are currently working on Halo Infinite and Minecraft. And I
Oh,
was like, do I? They said I could work from where I'm located,
yeah.
but for the time being. But once COVID's over, they would want me to move. And that's the other side of the country. And I don't want to live in Vancouver, but I'll take a
Oh.
Vancouver salary any day because they are quite big. That's like at one point I turned down a job at Rockstar in GTA. Or,
What
well, the Greater Toronto area is where they are. The
for
GTA.
what? What
Go figure.
why
As
didn't
a tools developer for
why didn't you take that?
didn't want to move away from where I'm at. And that's essentially it. I
You're just
was
a homebody?
almost to the point. It's not so much a homebody. It's I'm still close to my family somewhat.
Okay.
Well, they're far enough away that they can't come visit every day. So
Yeah, they're
they're actually in another province. They're in Newfoundland, which is where
okay.
I'm originally from. And that's where some of my accent comes from, but not the twang. The twang is a rare anomaly. I'm the only person from my hometown that has it that I know of.
Really?
But
So no one else
yeah,
has your accent. So if I visited Crom, nobody I'm not gonna hear a bunch of Croms everywhere. You're the only one
nope.
who sounds like
No,
you.
definitely not here in Nova Scotia. You won't hear. You'll hear all kinds of other accents
Yeah.
and stuff like how they pronounce the thing you sit on in your living room as being a coach. And it's like, oh, and they even spell it that way, which drives me
What?
nuts.
How do they
Oh
spell
yeah,
that?
they'll spell like the chair, the big long chair in your
Yes.
living room in
Couch.
front of your
Yeah.
TV, the couch. Around here in this area that I'm in, there's a certain set of people that have an accent and they call it a coach.
A
They pronounce
coach.
it couch.
Yeah.
And likewise, they'll spell it that way as well. And they'll say, like, make a post on Twitter or whatever, like,
Yeah.
today I was sitting on the coach and blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
Oh, that's
why the fuck are you sitting on your coach? It's like, it makes for some hilarity, but I
Yeah.
mean, I moved into this area, so
Okay.
I can
How
just,
long you been there a while or no?
since 2005 or so,
Oh, okay.
I've been living here and trying to get rid of my accent because it's a detriment in my field of work.
Is that where you met your wife living there or no? Did
No,
you
no, no, no. I met my wife back home in Newfoundland at a bar.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she had a
Who
mutual friend and stuff, and
is
we
it a
met her
blind
and
date?
all that kind of stuff. No, it wasn't really a blind date. I kind of got really drunk one night and asked her to dance, and while I was dancing with her, I said, "So, you want me, don't you? I heard you want me," is what I said. And she didn't know what to say, but she responded, "Yes," and the rest is history. So
So
it was just
that
one of
was
those.
that was your pickup line. You want me,
It
don't
was
you?
so.
I
It
know
was
you want me.
basically that. That was. It's like I heard you want me, is what I said to her, and oh man, it just went from there, and we've been together ever since.
All
So
right, write it
I
down,
mean,
boys. Write it down.
it works, right?
That is how you get your girl. You just walk up to her and say, "I heard you want me."
No, no, no. You got to ask her to dance first.
Oh, you got to ask her to dance first, and then as you're dancing, you hit her with the, "I know you want me."
Yeah. It might have also been one of those things where it's like it probably was a little bit after happy hour, and
Yeah.
she was not exactly sober at the time as well.
Yeah.
So
You guys are just
we ended
having
up
fun.
meeting and all that kind of stuff. And friends kind of got us together after that a couple times. And
Yeah.
well, we've been pretty much together now ever since 2000 or 2001 or something like that, I think.
That's
So
amazing, man. Well, congrats.
yeah,
That's awesome.
it's not
That's
bad. I
awesome.
mean,
Yeah.
we both have dark enough sense of humor where we'll call each other out down to the floor or whatever and laugh about it. Or we'll say she will say stuff to me, I'll say stuff back to her, and we'll
Yeah,
just laugh. Or
that's
when
awesome.
she gets angry, I'll look at her and I'll say, "Hey, honey, guess what?" And she'll say, "What?" And I'll say, "Your anus is a gas giant."
What the fuck?
As a joke, because the planet is a gas giant, right? It's a
Yeah,
fact.
yeah.
And if you pronounce it the proper way, which is the original way, which is based on Latin and everything else like that, is actually pronounced Uranus. It's
Yeah.
not Uranus. So you just say Uranus is a gas giant. It's just a joke, right? And it
Yeah,
just kind of kills the bad vibes.
yeah.
So,
That's
but you do
awesome.
what you do, right? Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. So you're
So,
you're a pretty good dancer.
no, God, no.
So
Man, I have no
you were
rhythm.
ballsy enough to ask this woman to dance
Slow
with you.
down.
Oh, okay. I thought you were out there pop
Now,
locking or something. I don't know.
no. That requires more beer than what I had that night.
Okay,
But
yeah.
that does happen once in a while, and it's you ever see Elaine on Seinfeld? It's
Yeah.
worse. It's a
No.
worse train wreck. Yeah, I have no rhythm. That's one of
Jesus.
the things I hate. I honestly, I don't know. I,
Yeah.
what do you do, right? But
Have
that's
you
it, right?
you guys ever been to the States?
Yeah. We a few years back, my wife went to the States for the first time. My first time in the States actually was at my last job. My CEO of the company took us developers down to New York
Uh-huh.
to watch a NHL playoff game, and we got to actually watch the NHL playoff game between the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens, where the Montreal Canadiens got put out of the playoffs,
Yeah.
and it was a very happy day for me
Oh, you don't well, who's your
because
team?
my team's Toronto, man, the
Oh,
Leafs
the
all the
Maple
way.
Leafs. Okay.
Yeah, and anybody else but the Montreal Canadiens cannot stand that team whatsoever. So, but that might have something to do with while I was in junior high and stuff and all that. Every time I got into a fight with a bully and all that kind of stuff, he was usually wearing a Canadians shirt of some sort
Oh,
or something. So it probably got embedded into me with fists.
yeah.
So, but that's it. That's what you do, right?
So
So
is Gretzky the greatest player of all time?
yes, he is. Hands down, easy enough.
Who
There's
would be
no
a
ifs,
close
ands, or
second?
buts about it.
Like who could possibly
The close second is Sid the Kid. Simple as that. Sidney Crosby is the closest you will get to
Gretzky?
Gretzky. There is nobody else as close. The ice presence on them, they're just friggin' amazing. I mean, Gretzky was basically a player that he would actually use the reflection in the glass to
Mhm.
determine when people were coming from. He was untouchable, and
Yeah.
he carried himself well. He didn't
Yeah. He
he
wasn't.
was gracious and everything
Yeah,
else like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And Sid embodies a lot of that as well. And well, Sid's from not too far from where I'm living right now. So,
Oh wow.
and yeah, he's yeah, him and actually Nathan McKinnon's from the Cole Harbor area of Nova Scotia, which is just outside Halifax. So, yep, they're
Wodu said no Gretzky, no Crosby.
no, whoa, dude's a Detroit fan, so you can't exactly blame him
Ah,
much, right? So that's pretty much it. Yeah. He's never going to be a Gretzky or a Crosby fan. Simple as that, I don't think.
wasn't there a
But
dude who was on the Ducks who was supposed to be like super super good too? Was it his name? Is it Paul Correa?
yeah, Korea was actually a pretty darn good player as well. I mean, there's been a lot of good players over the years, but as
Nothing on
simple
that.
as
Nothing up to that
that. And
standard.
one that is like you'll get yelled at for saying that's actually a pretty darn good player and up there is Ovechkin, but he doesn't
What's
carry
wrong with
himself
him?
so well. He's a bit more
Just flashy dude.
Uh, well, he's a bit more in your face type thing, and it
Got
pisses a
it.
lot of people off type thing. But
Okay.
and then, well, you got the other guy from the Halifax area, Brad Marchand on the Boston Bruins. I used to like the Boston Bruins. They were one of my top three teams, and Marchand is one of the biggest assholes on the planet,
Yeah.
and I don't really like him much anymore with him. So.
Mm.
It's like
Alex
you
O.
talk to people who grew up with Marchand, who played on teams with him growing up,
Hmm.
and been to parties where he's at and everything else like that. And pretty much everybody who meets the guy and actually gets to know the guy wants to punch him in the freaking face. That's essentially it. He's
Yeah.
just a dick.
Okay. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I got a kick out of it one day. I was on my way home from work, and I pulled out and passed a black Lamborghini, and this was Marchand.
Oh.
And I'm in my little old Chevy Cruze blowing by him. So, and that was a piece of shit car too. I got rid of that one. I'll never buy a Chevy Cruze ever again.
What are you driving nowadays?
I'm driving a Honda Civic Touring Edition Turbo.
Oh, nice.
And for my truck, I got a Chev Silverado Duramax High Country. So that's my Lambo.
There we go.
That's a vehicle I always said I would eventually get to the point of being at a what's Chev has as a Denali class.
Yeah.
Truck, which is the one with all the bells and whistles, the leather interior, air conditioned seats and everything and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
And due to COVID, I got it for cost.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, I walked into a dealership on the last sales day before the end of the month.
Yeah.
And they were short a sale and they needed to actually make up a sale to get their numbers up. And they basically gave me a deal I couldn't refuse. And I'm barely paying more than my last truck, which was nowhere near as good.
Nice.
So now I have this, it's like, man, I lucked into it. And they gave me a number. I said, no, I can't do that. They said, that's the lowest we can go. I said, okay, well, that's fine. I'll be back in March when my lease expires. And they said, give me a second. And they came back and they ended up hitting my number. So, and I threw a secret to buying a car, go into a dealership, throw in a number you never think they'll ever match, even if it sounds crazy. And a lot of times I give in. My last 2 trucks, I did that. And man, I haven't been paying much at all.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing that a lot of people don't know is that like it's a lot harder for them to let you walk out than it is for you to walk out yourself. Like they want to make that sale way more than you think. And they're willing don't ever take their first offer. Like you need to haggle. No. Absolutely. They will never ever give you the best deal they can right away. They won't.
Yeah. And well, even more so on a lease, they'll actually go basically to hell with it to give you that vehicle.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's like I'm okay with a lease on a truck right now because in 3 years, man, with all the electrics coming out, it's going to be a bit harder to sell a gas powered truck.
You like the Cybertruck? No.
Like it, but I don't.
It took a while. It took a while. It grew on me, but at first I was like, this is such a joke. Like I don't want to drive around in freaking PlayStation 2 Lara Croft titties. Like I don't want to do that, right? And then like after a while, I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
No. Their 4-wheeler that they featured with it was actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
But the truck, it's like...
Yeah, the 4-wheeler, that little ATV was dope. I was like, now that's sick.
That was like...
Now that's a badass looking thing. Yeah.
That thing I want just for tearing around dirt piles or something, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Cybertruck is nice and all that, but GM showed off their super...
Their Hummer looks really cool. The new electric Hummer.
When they released it, I mean, with the crab steering and everything, where you can turn the wheels and go sideways.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, holy crap, I want this. Just because backing in a camper or whatever, when I go camping in the summer, it's like, it'd be much easier if I could just slide the truck sideways. Right? Yeah. So, but man, it's like, the performance of those things, I mean, the electric vehicles is just blowing away anything else.
Oh, it's insane. That's why I was trying. I want to talk to somebody who's like a big like car enthusiast, because it's like the electric vehicle had to have just shit all over any like street racing scene. Like you could have the fastest car you want. It doesn't matter because someone who just got their Tesla delivered to them that day can roll up next to you and they'll beat you in any race.
Yep.
Like without
even like just actually take down a 911.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like your little street car that you've invested all this time and money in is useless now because this even the low end $30,000 Tesla is going to beat you off the line, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. It's just crazy.
It's just the way it goes, right? I mean, the electric vehicles are just they're there. Yeah. They're coming, and there's nothing you can do about it. And here in Canada, you got basically almost like a big economic war between the West and the East, they call it, and all that. Because out West in Alberta, they're all about, oil, blah, blah, blah. We need to sink more money into oil development and all that kind of stuff to save the economy. And meanwhile, people out East are like, motherfucker, you freaking blind? I mean,
electric is the future.
I mean, Honda is going to be no longer making any gas-powered vehicles for Europe as of 2023. There will not be a Honda sold. BMW is not going to be selling a gas-powered vehicle after 2025 at all, anywhere in the world.
What?
And that's the Beamers. None. That's
wild.
all the properties that BMW owns, including Volkswagen and everything else.
Yeah.
And I talked to car guys a bit and all that kind of stuff anyways, and I've been following electric vehicles for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're all moving that way. And in the next year, Chev is actually releasing 16 new electric vehicles. So
yeah.
And that's just on the Chev line, not on the GM line and everything else like that. And the Ford electric Mustang is out.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks ugly as dog though. Man, that thing looks so
crossover.
But why though? Why do you make it? It can still look like a Mustang. Like, why do you make it? It's like the Prius. Like the Prius.
That they did that.
The Prius on paper is a great car, right? But I don't want, like, you're literally saying, can you please just beat me the fuck up? Because I want to drive this thing. Like, why do you have to make it look like that? You could easily make that look like a normal, like, Civic or something like that, a normal town car. But instead, you want that to look like punch me. Do you know? And it's for what?
It's mostly because a lot of car manufacturers have been finding the cross between, like, okay, like Honda has a CRV and a Civic, and if you cross them, you get the HRV, which is what the big seller seems to be. People are going for between the SUV and the
car. Yeah.
And that's what they tried to do with it.
Isn't it just called the station wagon? Like, why are they trying to, like, change it up?
Well, the thing is, you also have to understand too, the Mustang is a car that Ford they don't really stick to their own design too solidly. I mean, in the 80s, there was a 4-door version, for crying out loud. And everybody says, oh yeah, an 84 Mustang was a great car, blah, 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 with the 5-liter Cobra, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but it also came in a 4-door family sedan version. So they do that with all their vehicles. They're just trying to sell stuff.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the aesthetics of it, man. I just feel like they've really dropped the ball there. Like, they still could have made it look like a muscle car, but just with the technology of the future, and they just said, nah. Your accent is interesting. Haley, what? Another fellow Canadian. We're about to see Canadian beef right now.
She will not have my accent whatsoever.
Is this that Canadian beef we're talking about in your what are those things called? Not the Euros. What are they?
What? Those Donairs.
Donairs, yeah. Ooh, this is about to be some nice Canadian beef in this Donair.
I'm from Newfoundland originally.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. It's South Alberta. Yeah, they're the cowboys out there. But no, Newfoundland, all the way. Eastern Canada, Far East.
Newfie
Pog. Darn right. That's exactly it.
But
nice. See, Newfies know everybody.
See, Newfies, I like that.
Like you get people and all that kind of stuff, and it's like you go anywhere in the world, and like I went to England for 3 weeks while I was a teenager, and I ended up running into a Newfoundlander I knew there. One day I was just walking through like this town outside of, I don't know where it was, but we were there on tour or whatever, and all of a sudden I seen someone, and I just said their name, and they turned and looked, and it's like, holy crap. And this is a person from my high school that was in my class growing up. I was like, just nuts.
That's crazy.
Newfies know a lot of people.
I like that.
We spread all over the place.
I like
if all the Newfies moved back home, and you'd have the most populous country province in Canada. Well, that's pretty much it.
Is that your word, or am I allowed to use that? Can I get a pass?
Oh, you go ahead.
Can I call people Newfies? What's up, my Newfie?
You can. There are people who will get angry with you, but generally they're not from Newfoundland.
No,
it is the Canadian N-word.
No,
I am not trolling.
Crom, give me a Newfie pass. Let's go.
You
Vancouver
got a Newfie pass, man.
equals
don't worry about
Canada's version of the U.S. Oh, is that real?
No, not really. No. I've never been to Vancouver myself, but that's besides the point. But yeah,
holy.
No, I'm from a small province with, it's one of the largest provinces in Canada, but has one of the lowest populations. So you don't know, like the capital city only has 250,000 people basically in that part. And then there's another city right next to it, but that's besides the point. And I'm not even from anywhere around there. I'm from the small little areas where you see icebergs and whales and stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
like my wife always, she wants to go to Canada, but it's like she wants to go to that kind of Canada. Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like
Yeah.
forests and like nature and all that.
Yeah. Well, that's where we grew up basically, is in the woods and stuff, on snowmobiles and ATVs and stuff, and out in the boat, out in the bay, and fishing
Yeah.
and stuff and all that. Newfoundland, not NWT.
Ooh, the 84 GT was one of your favorites? Yeah, see, I'm
84 GT.
I'm honestly
Yeah, it is
debating. I'm
the
debating
84
selling
GT
my
was pretty nice, but there was a 4-door version that just killed that
live
whole
at your
style.
mama's house. But yeah, I'm currently debating selling my Raptor right now because I'm 100% gonna get.
Wow, you got a Raptor?
Yeah, I've had the Raptor
man.
since they came out. Well, I didn't buy it when it first came out because they only had the 2-door, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't, because I was like, I always had like a quote unquote entourage with me all the time. Like
Yeah.
I never went anywhere by myself. I always made sure I had like 4 or 5 friends with me anytime we went anywhere. So I was like, I can't do a 2-door. So I was like, I'll
Yeah.
wait until the 4-door comes out, and then so as soon as the 4-door released, I got the 4-door Raptor, and then I had that for I think like 5 years or something, and then the new Raptor was came out, and at first I wasn't really big on it. I was like, man, it doesn't, like, the old one looked beefy. It looked real stocky and just like it looked like
was also
rugged.
6
Yeah,
inches wider than an F-150.
yeah, exactly. It just
So
it
it had a
looked
different
it
body.
had a completely different look, and and then plus the engine side, like it was a 6.2 liter, and then the new
Yep.
ones were like a 3.5 or something, and then it's like
Yeah.
I'm going down in engine size. It's like eco-friendly. I was like, this isn't what a Raptor is. But then
Yeah, but the 3.5 will outpace the
yeah,
6.2.
exactly. So then the dealership by me, they got one in, and they called me up. They're like, hey, we got one in. Do you want to come check it out? We know you said you weren't really fond of them, but maybe you should see it in person. I was like, all right, whatever. Because I've seen it in pictures like since like it was announced, and I was like, I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. I got there in person and I just fell in love. I was like, man, the interior, I was like, it's already like, just the interior alone sold me. And then everything else was just like
the interior,
yeah.
and those are amazing.
So
I've always said I'm either going to go the Chev route, or if I got to go Ford, I'm getting a Raptor.
yeah, that's because that's the only Ford truck that, like, it doesn't matter if you're Chevy, Ford, Dodge, like you cannot deny how beautiful the Raptor is. It is just it's just a pristine truck. And like, it's just one of those like, Ford sucks, Raptor's cool, but Ford suck kind of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was basically a one-off to show off what you can do with the truck. It was basically a massive improvement over the old Lightning and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the concept of the Lightning, but I hate I don't like the bed style of it. I think it looks weird. It's like, just give it a regular bed. Why do you have to give it like those little dents like to stand on? Like, who's using the bed of your Lightning for like construction? Like, you don't need steps on the side for that. Like, just leave it alone.
Yeah, also, if you're actually doing anything heavy with a Lightning, you're going to have problems.
Yeah, exactly. It's a street racing truck. Like, leave it be. That you guys dropped the ball there, but yeah. So now that I have my Raptor, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm 100% getting an electric truck, whether it is the Cybertruck or it's the new Hummer, but I'm 100% going all electric, and it's basically whatever one comes out first is the one I'm gonna get. Because I keep getting told that the Cybertruck, the triple engine, isn't coming out till 2023. I'm like, if the Hummer comes out, if the high performance Hummer one comes out before the Cybertruck one, then I'll just go with that one. But so I'm thinking now, like, should I just sell my truck now and get the most value out of it? Because like now with COVID and everything, like we don't need 2 cars necessarily.
No.
And so it's just sitting in my driveway for the most part. Like, I use it to go to McDonald's, but that's about it. So it's like, I should probably just sell it now and get the most value out of it that I can. But it's just so hard to let it go. It's my baby. I love that freaking thing.
Well, don't let it go. I mean, if you love the thing, keep it. I mean, my last truck I absolutely loved. I had a Chev LT with the Rally 2 edition package on it, and it had 22-inch rims, and that were just basically black, and it was all black on black on black on black on it. I mean, it had 3 different colors of black stickers on a black paint job.
Oh,
and it just looked so stylish, it wasn't even funny, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And it was probably the best truck I ever had. And then I just stopped in a dealership, like I said, and they put me in a high country, and I'm like, okay, I loved my truck, but I'm sorry, I gotta have a discussion with my truck about how I'm gonna break it start.
Oh my god.
It's like walked in on a Saturday, and an hour later I was signing papers.
Yeah, it's
What do you
like
do,
it's
right?
so easy to fall in love with new cars. It is
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
scary. Like if you are ever like if you ever feel like you shouldn't buy a new car, do not go look at one because you will 100% walk
right.
away with one. You will leave that dealership with a new car.
And there goes my camera, and he's back. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
no, I don't
mm,
know. I mean, that's it, right? I mean, unless like summer times, we'll go camping with friends and stuff, and
yeah,
we'll sit around the campfires drinking, and we'll talk about trucks and cars and everything. And a couple of the guys are real big car guys and everything else, so
hmm,
it's not bad. It's not bad, but I
yeah,
mean, the Raptor is a thing that's, I'm sorry, it's the Ford truck that is a work of art
yeah,
for the most part. It is the one to have if you're going to have a Ford truck and you want something that's cool. You go with a Raptor,
yeah.
and now they are pretty damn expensive.
Yeah, I paid a arm and a leg for it. And the
Yeah,
craziest thing about the Raptor when it came out is that any dealership you went to, they will straight up tell you, they'll be like, um, just letting you know you're gonna pay minimum $10,000 over sticker. Like
yep,
we're you're because the demand is so high, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Like I don't care that you saw that the truck cost 45,000. We will sell it to you for 55,000. Like
yeah,
we're not going below 10,000 over. And that was it. Like the dealership that tried to get me to buy from them, they told me 20. They're like, we can't do lower than 20. They're like, we have
mm,
literally, they're like, we have a list of 10 people that want this truck. And they're like, we called you just because, you know, you bought your first Raptor with us. We know that you're anytime a new Raptor comes out, you're going to get the new one. So they're like, you are like, you're someone that we want to make sure that we can provide, you know, service for. So I was like, all right, cool, yeah.
yeah,
Like, but at the same time, we're not going under 20,000 over sticker. Where I was like, well, then I don't
yeah,
know. You got to give me a minute, man, because I like it a lot, but I don't know if I like it that much. And then luckily, my buddy just recently got a job um at a Ford dealership
yeah.
in like a couple cities over, and he's like, hey, he goes, were you planning on getting the new Raptor? And I was like, yeah. He goes, so we don't have any here. He's like, but my manager told me that if you want, build it online, send me the
Mhm.
link, we will get it shipped directly from the factory exactly how you want it. So I was like,
Yeah,
serious? He goes, yeah. He goes, and we'll do it at cost because we'll just say that you're my cousin or something. And I was like, oh fuck yeah. So I sat there and spent a whole day putting this Raptor together, gave him the link,
yeah.
he got it. He's like, all right, cool, we're gonna go have it built. And then like I forgot, like months later, he's like, hey, your truck's here. I was like, shut the fuck up. The one I built? He goes, yeah, it just got dropped off right now, right off the truck. And I was like, oh my god, I'm on my way. I was in the middle of golfing. I left like on like the seventh hole, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later. My truck's here. And I ran down there, and it was beautiful. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it.
I just seen Matt's comment, and the only thing I got to say is, man, you got to understand these trucks. They're our Lambos.
Yeah,
They're what we work for.
yeah. Honestly,
Basically, that's the way it goes, right?
I'm
Like,
gonna buy
uh,
Crom's camera. Crom, what can you give a shout out to your camera?
$1 Sure. Oh man, I'll tell you what. After I swing a baseball bat through it, you can have it.
Bruh.
You
You,
pay
no, you
shipping,
got
you can have it.
you got to leave it in the room, but so the new camera
Yeah,
knows,
usually that
so it'll
it's
know.
swag.
Yeah, not even that. You just let it know. Be
Oh
like,
no,
look, this is what happened in the last camera that didn't cooperate. All right, so
yeah,
you better work, otherwise you're next.
yeah, that's probably a good idea. Maybe I'll do something along those lines, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, it's a
Oh.
camera. It's needs to be replaced. It will get replaced. It just keeps deciding to say, oh, almost every half hour on the half hour, it says, I'm going to shut off for a split second.
It's how you keep time.
And
You
it's
don't
like,
even need to watch.
yeah,
You just know. You're like, oh, camera went out.
yeah,
It's 5:30.
yeah. It helps me with figuring out where I did something on stream so I can clip it. It's like third camera crash. That's this much in.
Yeah.
Way to go, Rick. But yeah, no, no.
How does your
It's,
how do you balance? I feel like I'm struggling more recently than not with the whole family and stream aspect. Because I feel like you're like, even
uh,
if you're not streaming, I see you in people's chats all day long. So where are you finding
no,
the
no,
time?
no,
Are
man.
you a time
Yeah,
traveler of some sort?
no, no, no. I'm not really finding the time. That's the thing. The
Uh,
secret is it's kind of like how the Hulk is always angry. It's like I'm always busy, and that's essentially it.
yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, between family and everything else,
Yeah.
I try to spend as much time as I can with my family, and a lot of times that ends up bleeding into my streams, in which I end up playing games with my kids or my
Yeah.
wife or whatever, because she'll join me for streams and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and she gets into my streams and she throws jabs and burns my way, and it
Yeah.
makes it entertaining and
Oh,
fun.
for sure. Yeah, like
So,
Little Evil.
I
Do you ever
mean,
get to catch Little Evil and his wife
oh
playing together?
yes,
It's
yes, yes, I do.
comedy. Comedy.
I
I
do.
love their interactions with each other. It's so
Yeah,
fucking funny.
yeah, it's a similar dynamic to a certain extent,
Yeah.
except my wife just she will get me with some clever burns every now and then, and it's
Yeah.
like I just gotta say, yep, hats off to you. That was a good one, and it's good. And every now and then, my kids will try it and stuff, and
Yeah.
sometimes they'll just get downright insulting, but
Yeah.
they're learning. They're learning. They're getting better with the burns.
Yeah.
So, I
They
mean,
do your kids think it's cool that you stream?
yeah, they think it's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
my son pops in every now and then on my streams and stuff, and
Yeah.
they figure it's pretty neat and all that. So, I mean, it's just the way it goes, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just doing it just for fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm doing it partially because I'm trying to get rid of this damn accent. And more I speak, the better I get.
Yeah.
I mean, like right now, I'm speaking like probably at about half the speed I used to.
Oh, really?
Like,
When you talk fast, the accent gets real crazy?
oh yeah, the accent gets really crazy. I mean, we start going on with stuff like
We got to go dig. Listen,
comes from-
guys, we need to go
I
digging
can't do
through.
it.
We got to go digging through Crom's old clips. We got to find like a real heavy accent in there where of him just talking like full speed and where it's just nothing but just that twang.
No, every now and then we'll like when I go back home to visit once in a while. I haven't been home in a few years, but when I come
Mhm.
back, everybody says, "Holy crap, you're speaking different. What happened?" And it's like I'm just reverted, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. I haven't been back home in a couple of years because, well, of various reasons. Like
Yeah.
past year, I couldn't go, so I mean, COVID's got me kind of stuck in this province for the most part. So
Yeah.
even though we're doing really good, I mean, most days we have 0 new cases. So
That's awesome.
I mean, that's because people here are wearing their masks and
Yeah.
doing the stuff that's necessary. And well, it's
And
not spreading like freaking
is-
wildfire.
You guys have provinces, right? Not cities?
Well,
Well,
we
they're
have
cities.
What do
Yeah.
you-
Well, what's
we
the
have
difference between
cities,
a
but
province and a city?
a province is equivalent to your state.
Oh,
That's essentially it. Yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah.
So a city is a city, and
Okay.
a town is a town, and a village is a village.
Yeah. Okay. Wait.
And the rock up my buddy's shed is still the rock up my buddy's shed, right? So, but that's besides the point.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm horrible at geography. Absolutely horrible. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you.
So, oh, man, I have stories about people from the States that are horrible with geography. It's not even funny. I mean,
Yeah. NA
the thing is,
education.
is
You know what I
like,
mean?
I mean, the comedians from up here in Canada, one of them.
Are you drinking a Canada Dry? You're fucking trolling me right now. It's Crom.
Canada Dry. Damn right. That's why it blends into the background of the green can. So
This man trolling me to the max right now. God
I'm
damn
not
it, Crom.
trolling you, man. I just like a good Canada Dry. They're really good with rum and whiskey.
Yeah.
And everything
Honestly,
else.
though, honestly, my uncle, back when I did drink, my uncle showed me this really good drink with Canada Dry, and I don't know if it was whiskey. It might have been. Was it whiskey? Could have been whiskey. Yeah, but anyways, he made it, and I was like, "What? I've never had a Canada Dry in my life." I was like, "Why would I ever drink that? It sounds disgusting." Ginger ale? No, thank you. And then he made it, and it was delicious. It was amazing, honestly.
Yeah, well, there's different types of flavors of drinks you get up here too. Like Haley's saying, okay, Canada Dry is the one with cranberry, but the thing is like that's only one flavor of Canada Dry, and the cranberry's generally only out around Christmas time around here. But then you get drinks like, okay, pineapple crush,
Yeah.
and it is the best crush flavor on the planet. And it's pretty much exclusive to Newfoundland, except for some restaurants that are actually franchises from Newfoundland sell it in their stores in the rest of Canada and stuff. Or you'll see, like, you'll go to somewhere like, okay, Edmonton, and there's a store called the Newfoundland Shop. And you
Mhm.
walk in there and you can buy all these things from Newfoundland and stuff. And it is absolutely amazing. It's one of the things I miss the most
Mhm.
is like the unique chip flavors and the unique drink flavors and everything else you get from Newfoundland.
Are you? Wait, you're
Or-
far from there? How far are you from there?
Well, it's basically a 5-hour drive to the ferry and then a 5 to 8 hour ferry crossing. then a 5.5 hour drive to my hometown.
Holy
thing, right?
shit, man.
Or an hour's flight from Halifax Airport.
That's a long way to go
But
by
still,
sled, man. I don't know how you do it, Chrome.
by sled, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you do.
We do have motorized sleds up here now, right? So,
now. He
Yeah.
said now.
and they fit nicely in the back of my truck, right? So,
You're 15 minutes from Canada? Whoa, dude, that's cool.
yeah, he can see Canada from where he lives. So it's just
Oh.
across the pond, basically.
Are you in Detroit? Is he in South Detroit? Oh, that's right. You said no, he's in Michigan, right? Yeah, Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, something like that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I told you I don't know geography. I get confused all the time between cities and states. I'm like, wait, is that the city or is that the state? I have to say it. I have to say it in order to see if it sounds right. Like Chicago, Illinois, right? Like I would assume, like if I just said Chicago, I would assume a state. But then I'm like, no, wait, Chicago, Illinois. So Chicago's in. That's I have to do that process.
Yeah, but at least you got a few easy ones down there, like New York. Doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah, New York, New York.
City or state. Way to go. You're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here it's kind of odd too. Like we have a lot of town names that are in Germany or in England or even from down around Boston and stuff, right? We share town names with them, type thing.
Wait, is it
I'm
Quebec?
living in Bridgewater, right? So I'm in Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, and there's a Bridgewater down around Boston somewhere, and all this kind of stuff, right? So you get a lot of crossover, and you get a lot of people back and forth between the two places or whatnot. But I'm way out here.
Is Quebec the one that has a lot of French? Is that the one? Is it real? Like where everything has to be posted in 2 languages?
Well, everything has to be 2 languages in Canada for the most part.
In general?
Yeah, all your products and everything else like that. If
it's
you
all
pick
French
up
and English.
Can, yeah, like this can has ginger ale on one side, and on the other side it's French.
Let me see. Oh, that's so dope.
Ginger ale and back and forth.
Do you speak any French?
And not really. I did French immersion in high school. I learned a lot of French and stuff, but I mean, I know enough to understand it. But well, I have a Newfie accent with a weird twang, and when I try to pronounce French, holy shit! You talk about butchering a language. It's like I just don't have the ability. It's not genetically possible. I mean, that's pretty much it. So. I mean, French is too much of the rolls of the tongue and everything else like that, and I can't do it. Cannot do it. So
that's freaking hilarious.
That's it. I mean, I've worked with French people and all that, and when I was in the gaming industry or whatnot, and one of my best friends actually in the company I worked for was a guy who was French, and he grew up in an area that, if you know anything about Newfies in Quebec, there's a long-standing kind of hate of each other to a certain extent. It's a rivalry, yeah, totally.
Okay.
It's just the way it is. I mean, they down us so much it's not even funny, and we have our own humor and everything else like that back in Newfoundland called Newfie jokes and all that kind of stuff. And they try to make Newfie jokes that are funny that downplay Newfie. Yes, Newfie jokes. We do have Newfie jokes, and people say they're offensive, but. A true Newfie joke always makes the Newfie seem like the top person. Like, for instance, here's one. One of the ones that I always like. One day, there was this guy walking down in Toronto.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it with a bit of a Newfie accent, too, because that's why I'll say Toronto instead of Toronto.
Okay, Toronto.
But anyways, Toronto. Basically, there was this guy walking down the street in Toronto, and he came to an intersection, and all the traffic's backed up, and there's this guy standing in front of in the middle of the intersection on top of one of those manhole covers. And he jumps up in the air really high and he shouts 43 each time he jumps. And he jumps up and says 43. Well, actually, no, he says 40 tree because that's the way a Newfie would say it.
Okay.
It's, or farty tree, sorry.
Farty tree.
Farty tree. And he's jumping up and down, jumping up and down, jumping up and down, going 43, 43, 43. And the crowd's just gathering around. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? This is just some madman jumping up and down on the manhole. And the Newfies and just jumping up and down, going 43, 43. And eventually the guy says, okay, I got a bit of nerve. I'm going to go see what the heck this guy's doing. And he walks up to the guy and says, hey, what are you doing? And the guy just jumps up in the air and says 43, 43. And the guy's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, 43, 43, 43. And he says, okay, this guy's obviously enjoying what he's doing. I got to try it. So he says to the guy, can I try this? And the guy just stops, steps off the manhole, motions towards and says, go ahead, boy. And the guy steps on the manhole and jumps up and says 43. And the newbie goes, no, man, you got to jump a bit higher. You got to jump as high as you can. So the guy decides, okay, fine. So he puts all of his gusto into it, bends right down, jumps as high as he can into the air, shouts 43. And as he's shouting 43, the newbie hauls out the manhole cover and underneath, down in the sewer the guy goes. He puts it back on top, steps back on it, jumps up, 44, 44, 44. And that's essentially the joke. But they're full of jokes like that, right? But then a lot of people will just go on about how newfies are the rednecks of Canada and we're all dumb and everything else like that. And it's like,
freaking
no,
newfies.
man, no, you don't know, man. I mean, we're an isolated little island where a lot of people are very isolated. There's nothing to do besides eat, drink, sleep, get drunk, make fun of stuff, have a blast, and use your humor to basically get through cold winters and, well, basically procreate because, well, there's so many of us and the rest of Canada is not even funny. So, I mean, we're everywhere. Simple as that. You can't go anywhere in the world and there's not a newfie and you're within 50 miles of you, I bet.
Nice.
At this point.
But freaking newfies.
It's all good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got a good sense of humor. We'll even get dark every once in a while, but it's pretty much ingrained in you if you're from there. And then it's like you get people from other parts of Canada and all that kind of stuff. Like, after I moved back to Newfoundland, after I first moved to Nova Scotia, and after I lost my job teaching, I moved back to Newfoundland and started a web company for a while. And I had a Newfoundland tourist information site and everything else like that with a whole bunch of things on it. Had a shoutcast radio station on it and everything. Had my own servers, had everything all set up. For 4 years, this is what I was doing, right? And I had a Newfie joke site as part of it. And I got an email one day from an angry guy saying, this is the equivalent of the N-word. This is so offensive. I'm so friggin' offended. And he's going on about how I should be ashamed of myself for promoting the stereotype and everything else like that. And I said, and he's going on about all this kind of crap. And I responded to it and I said, yeah, I have this joke site. If you actually read the jokes, every one of them, the Newfie is basically out on top. That's what a true Newfie joke is. It's just there for fun. It's for shits and giggles. We'll laugh, we'll joke, and all that kind of stuff. And I tried to explain it to him. He said, I was in Quebec one time, and one of the presenters was at a work thing. He said one of these presenters was at a basically it was Department of Fisheries thing or whatever he said, because he worked with the Department of Fisheries, and he said this guy told a Newfie joke to start a speech. So I got up and I walked out. He said the term Newfie shouldn't be said. It shouldn't be said. And it's, he's going on with it and everything else. He said, I've been living in Newfoundland for 20 years and I find it offensive. I said, well, motherfucker, I'm born here. Go to fuck back to wherever you came from. It's like, it's basically like a white guy telling the black people not to say the N-word type thing in their songs and everything else and their jokes and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, dude, man, don't do that.
Yeah, you can't. Like, you have no say so in this matter.
You have no say so in this matter. So you lived. So what? You moved to some neighborhood and maybe your neighbor. Well, like, dude, man, stop.
Yeah,
it's like, but you get a bit of that here and there and all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
that is crazy. You would never think this kind of stuff happens up there. You think everything's just sunshine and rainbows.
Oh God, no, man. It's like we got people just like Trump supporters up here too, and I mean, my Facebook feed's got a bunch of people arguing, oh yeah, well, Trump never freaking did this or whatever and all that kind of crap. And it's like, man, you're not even from the States. Why are you
why are you talking about this? That doesn't concern you, sir.
Yeah, they keep going on about how our current prime minister's so bad and all this kind of stuff. And meanwhile, basically the leader of the opposition is posting on Parler about how the left is trying to say that the Canadian maple leaf on the flag is offensive. And
what?
It's like, wait, what? He's not trying to say that. You're just trying to stir up shit.
Yeah.
I ain't voting for you. That's it. I'm not voting for you. It's like, have a sense of humor, man. But anyways, enough about that crap.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't get into it.
Yeah, it gets so easy just to get like we're talking about, just getting lost in that kind of stuff. And it's just like,
Yeah.
You always just need to remember, just like, look, just take a step back. Like, you're literally going to be
Exactly.
arguing with the wall. Nothing's going to get accomplished. Like, I don't know. It's nuts.
Yeah. I'm
nuts.
just drinking Canada Dry because I'm trying to get a sponsorship, right?
You honestly should, Crom. I don't know why. You should really reach out to them. Like,
I don't know,
Harris Heller says all the time, dude, do not worry about like feeling that you're not big enough to reach out to these sponsors. Just do it. You never know, man. Like, I think
man. It's like I got almost to the final round of with a sponsor one time.
Yeah.
And when they said, "Oh yeah, so you do get 200 concurrent viewers all the time," I'm like,
yeah.
No. Okay, well, when you do, call us back.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever, man, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
what company was that? Or you didn't say?
I'm not going to say.
Okay. I feel you.
Simple as that. I'm just going to leave it. It's not something I'm going to go into because, well, I don't want to spark anything with them.
I got you. I
could be crushed so quick. It's not even funny. But I've also been trying to talk to the G Fuel people into selling their products in Canada. And actually getting into.
Do they don't have it? You can't even order?
I might be able to order it. I don't know. But the thing is, it's like getting essentially foodstuffs from other countries into Canada is very expensive. And especially when it doesn't pass basically certification as being edible.
Got you. Yeah, because over here, like in America, there's a lot of stuff that like is FDA approved, but it's like in other countries, they're like, the fuck? No, you can't put that in things. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, I know like in Europe they're like, really strict about ingredients, and over here in the US it's like, nah, it's good. So it's not gonna hurt you that much.
No, but it's like with the whole things that goes on with trade agreements here in Canada and everything else like that. A lot of American milk can't even come in and be sold here because it has too much sugar.
What?
So, yeah. Well, your average milk, glass milk, has almost as much sugar as a glass of Pepsi. But
there's no way. There's no way. Can we get a fact check on this, please? There's absolutely no freaking way.
2/3 the sugar of a Pepsi.
That's in a regular glass of milk.
Yeah. Milk's not good for you, man.
You mean in a bag of milk?
One of the biggest lies in the past 50 years. Yeah, even in a bag.
Yeah.
In a bag. Yeah, we got bags of milk. Yes.
It's just seems
actually better for the environment. So.
Real.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of stuff like that on the go in the world, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, right? That's intense.
I mean, that's a deep dive once you start looking into like the actual like what products are actually good for you and everything else like that.
My wife is on that right now. She's on a big trip of that. So it's like she tries to get on my case all the time because I will not make that lifestyle change. Not that like I don't want to. It's just it's so much work, and it's just like what I don't even know what I could eat at that point. Like I have to like if I don't grow it myself, like basically I can't eat it because like you're gonna
more or less.
Yeah,
it's more or less just a moderation thing at that point, right?
Well, I don't know. She's trying to get me to like cut everything out. I'm like, you're out of your mind. I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't even do that. I mean, we've talked about things like that, me and my wife and all that, and even talked about possibly just trying to go vegan for a few months. And I was like, no.
Yeah, there's no way. I can't. Like, I won't even attempt that. Like, that's just not even a possibility for me.
Man, I'd be drooling outside at the windows of freaking fast food restaurants in the flat if I tried to do that, right? I'd be just looking inside of people all happy eating their freaking burgers and stuff, and me outside just looking like some sort of madman with drool running down my shirt, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, what do you do, right? You gotta keep yourself healthy, but
yeah,
I mean,
but like you say, moderation is really the key. I mean, ideally, you just wouldn't eat fast food, but I mean, if you're having fast food once a week, it's not really the end of the world. Milk sugar is a true thing. What?
Yep, totally is.
But there's no way. There's no way it's that much.
There's so many chemicals in there that are basically genetically modified or genetically evolved to cause a cow to grow and to help a cow's immune system that is not compatible with humans. I mean, it's also high in carcinogens, so it's like, you wonder why North America has some of the highest cancer rates in the world and the highest obesity rates and everything else like that. It's because, well, basically the various lobbying groups have been pushing this garbage down our throats for years and saying it's healthy.
The best argument I've heard for why we shouldn't drink cow's milk is that they said they're like, look, cow's milk is literally made to make baby cows turn into giant cat like cows.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you are a human. You're not built like a cow. Think about how much it would take to like how much fat and all that stuff is in that milk to get you to be the size of a cow. Why are you consuming that like for fun? Like you don't need that. And I'm like, you know what? That's true. Like it's literally made for these giant animals. Like why are we drinking? Why was that sicko over there sucking on that cow in the first place to find out that hey, this isn't that bad?
Yeah, I know, eh? It's like, who looks at that thing
Yeah.
standing in the middle of the field
like,
and thinks, I'm going to drink from that? Come on, drink. It's like, that looks like something I could drink.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What's your question, Mr. Ryan? Crom can tell me the sky's red and I'd believe him. 100. There's just something about that accent. Something about that Newfie accent that just gets you going.
No. It drives people away mostly.
Why is the logo a bear again? I remember you told me about this.
Man. Okay, the bear logo.
Did you create this?
Logo, I kind of half stole it.
Nice.
I got it from a few, well, in the early 2000s while I was working in game development. I accidentally came across a image on the net that just looks so freaking creepy for a teddy bear. It's not even funny.
Okay.
And it's a dental bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bear that they use at dental practices that has dentures in it
to show kids like to brush.
Creepy. Show kids it's like, here's how you brush, and it's like I thought that would be terrifying to any kid.
Prom stealing? So, yeah, imagine.
So I took the bear and then I vectorized it, altered it, and tweaked it up and all that. And I've been using it ever since, and I just call it the Crom Bear basically for the most part.
Where does KROMMAGNUS come from? Is that a Nova Scotian thing?
No.
It sounds like a Nova Scotian like Viking 80s, or something.
Sorry, 90s, early 90s. I was
that your Xbox gamer tag?
No, it is. It is my Xbox gamer tag. I'm KROMMAGNUS on everything, including Reddit and PlayStation Network, Xbox, the works, everything, you name it. I came up with KROMMAGNUS back in the early 90s in high school when I was playing D&D with guys.
Okay.
And we got together one night and I started creating this barbarian character. And I named him after the god of Conan, which is Crom.
Oh.
You'll hear in the movies, he'll say Crom or whatnot and all that kind of stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
But I spelt it differently. It starts with a C. No, normally, right? But I spelt it with a K because K's are cooler than C's.
And you're edgy.
It's not even being edgy. It's just, it's cool.
It's not even
C's are lame. C's are lame.
Oh, you heard it here first. Crom is actually a blood. You heard it here first. KROMMAGNUS is a blood. Suwoop.
Blood. Yeah. No, I'm not getting into that crap. But then I needed a last name for this character because my DM was all big on first name and the last name. And I said, I can't just be Crom. Why can't I be named after like the god in Conan? And that's it. And he said, no, you need a last name. So I thought for a second. And over on the TV, the World's Strongest Man competition was on. And it was an episode of one of the older episodes with Magnus Ver Magnuson. That's the guy's literal name.
That was his name.
Google him. World's Strongest Man, so many years in a row. Basically, this guy was a beast, could like lift all kinds of crazy stuff, do all kinds of crazy nut stuff.
Okay.
Basically from up like Iceland. And I said, okay, Magnus. So that's what I went with. And ever since then, I've been using the name. So
why wouldn't you run with that? I would instantly change that logo. Or even keep the freaking bear head, but make him look like this like badass barbarian looking dude to match like your D&D character. Do you know what I mean? But it has this crazy bear head on it. I think it'd look hilarious.
Yeah, no, he's that head's been photoshopped onto a few things and toyed with and all that kind of stuff. There are some plans for to actually do stuff with it. But I mean, it also makes for an easy logo that's like people look at it and go, wait, there's something about that that's kind of weird. And it's basically because it's a teddy bear with teeth. But don't Google teddy bears with teeth. That's a very nightmare-inducing path to go. Trust me. There are that's tame. And the image I got that one from originally is tame by comparison. Because, oh man, we got into that one day in between projects.
Wait, is it like sexual stuff or is it just creepy?
No, just creepy as all hell.
Oh, okay.
Like seriously.
Okay.
Like I say, if you don't want nightmares, don't look at it. But
Okay.
it's one of those things as like you got to go do it now.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Because you said
Everybody
like you
should.
shouldn't. Now you kind of have to.
Yeah, just teddy
I got
bears
you.
with teeth, and
Yeah.
or even dental teddy bears, and some of the things people have actually stitched in human teeth into them now, and everything else. And
Yeah.
there goes my camera again.
There you go.
Piece of shit.
There it goes.
But-
Wait, I
was
just
like,
thought about
yeah,
this.
that's
Wait, so you were teaching college. I'm sorry to get
Yes.
off topic, but it just came to my head, and we're running out of time, so I really got to get this out.
Yeah.
You were teaching college while you were college student age, so you were the
Yeah,
age
I
of
was,
someone who
I
should
s-
be in college, and you were teaching it.
Yeah, I started teaching when I was 19. I finished teaching when I was 20.
Okay.
Basically,
That's-
in between that year, I was teaching computer programming at a college in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Did you get any hot college chicks trying to win your favor?
Yes. will
Nice,
say,
Crom.
But
Nice.
one of the great things about that job was I would
Yeah.
teach. I would not mark the test, but students always wanted to suck up.
Yeah.
So that was fine. But the thing is like I wasn't allowed to tell them I didn't mark the test or who would actually mark the
Yeah.
test.
Why would you? I
As
wouldn't tell
company
them.
policy. I
Yeah.
wasn't allowed to as company policy. So every Thursday,
Savage
like
Crom.
going out for drinks. Come on, Crom, let's go out for drinks. And I go down, hang out at the bars with them. They'd be buying me drinks and everything else, and I'd be having a blast, right?
Crom was out here slaying, boy. You have another
I didn't
question.
do much playing though, unfortunately. My game was weak.
What?
So
Why are you with a line like "you want me"? I know you want me. That didn't fly with
that
everyone.
only worked out one person ever. And I married her, so it worked. So,
It worked once, and it only needed
Yeah.
to work once, bro.
Yeah,
That's
no,
amazing.
that's the thing. I mean,
All right, what's your question, Ryan? One more question before. Actually, we have enough time for plenty. If you guys can spit them. He locked her up. He locked in. He hit her with the line and then locked in. So you're not going nowhere.
no, I mean, it led to a great life. So
Yeah.
far, anyways. I mean,
So far.
well, we never know how it's going to turn out, right? So, I mean, what do you do?
He said so far. Oh, since he's Canadian, thoughts on hockey. Oh, we already had this discussion, man.
Yeah.
Gretzky's the greatest
you
player to
missed
ever
it.
live.
Basically, the greatest player ever lived, Gretzky. Second greatest, Crosby.
Do you think in your lifetime you'll
love that.
see a better player than Gretzky? You think it's possible?
I probably will. The closest I've seen is definitely Crosby.
Yeah.
He is the closest. He was on a rate when he first started that would have blew Gretzky's records out of the water. And the thing is, it's hard for anyone to beat Gretzky's record
Yeah.
because
He played for so long too. Yeah, and he played a long time, right? He had a very long career.
Oh yeah. I mean,
It's kind of like
That's what I
the
know, right?
Favre thing. Like Favre has a shit ton of records for football, but it's because he played for so long. So it's like, yeah, he has like all these records for like most yards and all this stuff. Is like because the motherfucker played like 10 years longer than everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's a few players like that in the NHL as well. There's frig, what's his name? Dude with the mullet, curly hair, played into his 40s and just wouldn't quit and
Yeah.
playing for all I know. He's been traded a few times anyways, but there's a few of those guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Crom
that's
does still currently play, Ryan.
yeah, I
And
still play hockey.
do your kids play or no?
Nope.
No, just
No,
you.
my kids
Okay.
have no interest in it whatsoever.
Yeah. But yeah, Crom still
Which
currently
is-
plays.
Yeah.
He's left wing, sometimes left out, but for the most
Oh, yeah.
part, he's left wing.
Yeah, I play, but I don't play well. I'm a
Yeah.
pylon for the most part. So my hockey career ended before it started.
Oilers,
And
is
that's pretty much-
that the team that Gretzky's going to go down for? Like as like his team is the
That's-
Oilers? It wouldn't be.
That's the team.
Wouldn't it be the
Gretzky's
Rangers?
Oiler. No. Oilers is where Gretzky had his best games.
Oh,
It's where
okay.
Gretzky shined the most, and the Kings was like, okay, yeah, he went with the money. Can't really blame him
Is that
much
wait?
there,
He never
but
played on the Rangers. I thought he played on the Rangers.
he ended up on the Rangers for a season or something. I think. that might
Oh,
have
but
been
it was
before
mostly
he-
Kings and Oilers then. Okay, yeah.
Oilers was basically in the '80s. Gretzky was unbeatable. You had
Ooh.
Gretzky and all those guys playing, and it was really good.
Crom, have you seen anybody get sent through the glass in real life in a game?
Yes.
Have
Yes,
you
I have.
sent someone through the glass, Crom? Is Crom
No.
hard checking fools out here? Maybe
No,
you
no.
saw maybe
I've seen
big bad Brom Magnus was out there skating. He saw somebody with a C on their jersey and was like, "What's up,
The
blood?"
toilet seat
Check
logo?
through the window. Did that
Sorry,
happen? No.
No. I didn't really see that.
Okay.
I've checked a few people. A few people accidentally. I've accidentally, basically, Bill Goldberg speared a guy at about 30 kilometers an hour, skating as fast as I could. And that guy was probably about 30 years older than me at the time. He was an old guy with gray hair, and I took him out, and I feel so bad for him. But,
Have you gotten seriously injured? Like, what's the biggest injury you've gotten from hockey?
3 dislocated ribs and a couple other things, all in one hit.
You ever get hit in the dick?
And yes.
With a puck?
Yes.
Oh.
There's a reason I wear a cup.
But even like even with a cup,
hurts.
even with a cup, that puck is solid.
It is. It totally is. It's like you get hit as like, yeah, no. I'm gonna go sit this one out. Like, you guys are.
Yeah, I gotta take a breather.
Me. It's like, just grab my skate and drag me off the ice, right?
I'm so terrified. Like, I would be so terrified of getting sliced on the face. Like, if I fell and someone's next to me and they kick up on accident and then I get a slice across the cheek from their skate. Like, there's no way people don't get hit on the face.
That's why a lot of us older guys will wear cage, because we realize we got to go to work in the morning.
But even younger, so but think about when you're younger, like
surgery or anything in the night, right?
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. But even so, like, a helmet doesn't, like, unless you have a cage. But like, normally there's no cage, right? Like, it's open face. You get like a little visor sometimes.
A lot of guys will wear a visor and stuff and all that. I wear a cage because I like my teeth.
Yeah,
simple as that.
But I feel like that's a badge of honor, though. Like, to have knocked out teeth from hockey.
What do you mean, like these?
No, let me see.
Stick my fingers inside.
Yo, is that from hockey?
Something like that.
He's like, let's just say it happened while I was playing hockey, but it's not from hockey.
Yeah. We'll just say that. That's what we'll leave it at. But,
okay, all right.
Oh, Matt with the cages are for pussies. Okay, come up here and play hockey. You'll be wearing a cage in no time flat, my friend.
Matt plays tonsil hockey. That's about it.
Yeah, well, good on him.
Yeah,
you can play that kind.
That is intense, though, man.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, it's a fun game to play.
Yeah,
I watch I watch games every now and then and stuff, but for the most part, I play hockey. I love hockey to play. I'm not too big on sitting and watching somebody else do stuff. That's why I like to do it myself.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree. I agree, Ryan, too. I agree. Gretzky is probably the only athlete in any of the 4 North American sports that is the undisputable GOAT. I don't think that there's not even like a not even like you couldn't give a valid argument as to why he's not. Like, any other sport, you could have arguments. Like, it's really hard to pinpoint one player. I mean, Jordan may be the exception, but then there's still room for an argument of LeBron and Jordan. But like with Gretzky, it's just Gretzky.
Yeah, Ryan's right. If you don't say Gretzky, you're literally wrong. Simple as that.
Yeah.
But the thing about Gretzky, a lot of people will say, okay, with the goalies back then, they were a different style goalie. They weren't as good as they are now. And they're completely right. But the thing is like, would Gretzky be able to score on goalies to this day and age? Yes. Would he be able to be so untouchable as he was? Yes, because it all still applies. Things that he did still apply. So would he have as many goals? Probably not, but he still would go down as one of the best players of all time. No matter what you say.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
whoa, dude, I don't know if I can, man. I get real nauseous with that kind of, like, I'm a real like wussy when it comes to that, like, gory stuff like that. Like, I'll look at it, but it hurts me so bad.
Yeah. But the worst one I ever seen was a Philadelphia game one night. But that was guy got his throat slit. I was like, so. But I mean, most of the sports in North America, you got you could argue back and forth. Some of the newer guys are good or whatnot, and some of the older guys are really good. But the sports have changed, rules have changed, things change a lot, and it's not necessarily. He was probably this player or whatever. Like, Jordan was undisputed in the 90s.
Yeah.
At one point in basketball, there was like literally you couldn't really say anybody else was a better player at that point. But to this day now, it's like, okay, he might not be able to keep up with some of the guys that are basically in the NBA at this point.
Yeah.
But it's just changes to the game, changes to recruiting, who's into it, who's not, and basically one thing about professional sports this day and age is all the teams have a very huge pool of people to pick from.
Mhm.
Whereas before, a lot of times, you go back as far as the 70s, a lot of the guys playing professional sports had day jobs.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. What do you do, Rick?
Yeah. All right, you guys. Unfortunately, we are at our limit for the podcast. I want to go ahead and thank my man Krom here. Thank you so much for being here. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot about you, man. And of course, just like with every guest, like there's still so much more to talk about. So I definitely would love to have you back. 100%. 100%.
Oh, anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, if you guys missed any of the podcasts, make sure you guys go back and check it out. Don't forget, it's gonna be here on YouTube, so it's very easy to go back, and you can even listen to it at 1.5 play speed, so that way it really you get caught up real quick. But like I said, shout out to Krom. There's all of his info. There's his Twitch. There is his YouTube. You guys have his YouTube or not? I think we just have your Twitch. But go to his Twitch. You can find links to all of his stuff. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
KROMMAGNUS. Everything's KROMMAGNUS.
There you go. Find him on Twitter, Instagram, Krom.
Instagram too. Yep.
Okay.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
There you go. KROMMAGNUS everywhere. Go. Hit him with a follow.
KROMMAGNUS, chances are it's me.
As you guys heard, this guy he's like a bottomless well. All right, of knowledge about various things. Whether it comes to cars, video games, sports, you name it, you talk to him, he'll explain all the wonders of the Great White North to you. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys later. All right, see you guys.
Thanks for having me.